A crap, misaimed bottle of sable colour wired together in a clop of blondish tough, asking for dodo meat outside again, for old time's sake. An obsolete light stills the silk jackets out in a cook and melt, brittle toenails to the sun, purloin in defect, black prill the sweet air, wherein my joys are a chest pain. Under the drooping floors, its sartor chorus of imperium hard-ons, this soil is grace and favour like Eve shaded long in a psychodrama, submissive loyal to portfolio marquee, screening the kindred grandeza in nacreous snail trail, all popped. White-collar clubmen moo in tandem, Toby jug, rain-nine dinner speech, muzzle the coffers, mine, hence not yours. Okay. Now, on your own, they rumple fawns keenly and scour out an alienated silhouette, unwrit, the same heartless registrar burning a HR bulletin hole, bolted to calloused fingers, the cruelest cramps, payroll troll, fuck it, as they casually seek to remove parts inside, dry heaving somewhere in arm's letter length, its subsong trembling and wisped, overwhelming clavichord of the damned and suspended tick force. To work gets charred the hands that feed the migraine weather, said aloud or under briar, to sweat in the database veil, its tiered light to thrifted light, nozzle to nozzle tight. Your entitlement to occupational sickness is reduced by half. Best wishbones for your continued recreation in twilight slits, a time server glinting, now meant to live as inadequately as told to a ruction you cannot exhaust if there are any other ways. It drones out in lion's eye habit, off the merest anode, mnemonic rented on web home clotches, the effigy of a wren bursts like everything I sang again. Dead again for a work ethic unchained. The integer for fiscal stylus has calculated that the user, you, are foul of our estimate. A cut to £0 in a hole known as a sanction for whom I see no bliss at all. O wicked wall, fulminate, misjilted mudguards in piff sunk. Woe, I am this wall's woe, hole sealed. To dangle work upon the spy gash, jobs, hunches, consecrate and twist, all rhyme on felled sickle croaks up liquid fiscal pricks. Today the ocean is buried. Today, death for garnets in pockets. Today, eat 5% to your peace kindling. Today, the CSJ has built an alliance on poverty. Tomorrow, a skiver punnets long for Ouroboros in eat sick off red tapeworms, known as a sanction for a heart of nothing, a large analgesic of my lanyard wrapped. I have found myself crannied inside a hole, 8 pence thick, 3 pence wide. In autogas, a baron laid to rest down the CNS. You have moved unclinking betwixt billfold screed, so the working group members' anonymity will recover in your children's birthmarks. As to work dangle requirements and out of work notches remain rendered here, now, and to be found in and of compelling evidence for the idea that money earned through work carries more utility than money received from government and opposition. Oh, rift goaded to go and waking least lowest most ragged and dismissed of starred and pricked eyes grown inward all valued tight, braid a rota somewhere in arm's letter length and open the payroll, or I will implode and eat through a haze length of numbers, sick up salvo web, countersign upon countersign with ripped out sprigs. Here the coup de grace gently absent from the fairest oak-approved workforce pendants, made on the cruelest of woes, or the most anxious of heaves, at arm's letter length. Water cannot be disconnected, said work and pensions, but merely rerouted in shame, gently accompanying private waste, dog-legged, eating my menses. Mother has an Ovaltine and settles down, does not say the word for harm, as in roadblock cracked to a kind of twilight, old speculative charts made of rose equity struck inside my throat, a heretical nosedive incentive. After too much harm, work does not pay. It concludes, says Mum. Linnean Society of London, pecunia non olet, starved beyond work are rats carved on Haymarket Street for a dynamic welfare state, but a private banking division of Lloyd's Group. We work to move away from permanent dependency and to increase the affordability of the system, as in a cut to a hole, 8p thick to Broad Street, seeing through the eye of algebra, dead, an antithesis of the communal, as a golden song downturned. So, excellent man, the true pattern of single courage and unparalleled enterprise, whose lot it was to be obnoxious to fickle fortune and suffer adversity with few intervals of prosperity. That crypt Yanis Dobby eats is of red tapeworm sanctioned her dead son, or bones blown into a flag ended in the undercroft, for ended, smived, for banished, I endeth. For forgotten people screw in and be small and hard to glue fixed dissentive sod shiftless. This is known as a sanction. Faint with gestures on undesirables in our heart of hearts is sedition, charred to work in alteration of 8p unchained in my mouth kernel, to carve out, not cut, but scar jotters overlap by reducing away a last balanced fire break inside a cash flow problem is Dominic Raab. Inside Dominic Raab is an equality before law problem, the right to counsel problem, the right to a fair trial problem, and to be hurting poorly targeted rapiers of the unemployed gash this shuddering. Dominic is oh wool, oh sweet, oh lovely wool, ground and mine, the £20 user. This is no bliss. Curse again, tears confound. 1. Death of chief wage earner. 2. Incapacity of chief wage earner through accident, illness, or old age. 3. Chief wage earner out of work. 4. Chronic irregularity of work. 5. Largeness of family. Exit moonshine. I am 12 years old. Dead. We will do everything, work with anyone, overcome every obstacle in our path to jobs and prosperities. I have always worked hard, dog-legged and handed an e.g. human warmth, eat them on form filling on drill bits. Have you tried streamlining 10 practical measures, all to be taken swiftly? Oh, workplace, oh, my private light, not applicable. I seek death or reasonable, e.g. human warmth. Problem clanks, I am red in the face, and it's sold at augury for chase, while the destiny of you, Dominic Raab, goes regrettably faint. Was that sit down, Peter? Yes, sit down, Peter, e.g. human warmth. In 2008, I was 12 years old, inside a bin outside Lloyd's Bank. A disbursement of omens. Who broke the stratagem? Who broke in 2008? A. Strategy. B. Disarmament of ombudsmen across the land, forcing plight into a massive bust of Lenin, rescued from the former Soviet Union at the end of the Cold War and located in the village of Fenfall in Northamptonshire, at the 70-acre estate belonging to Baron Heseltine of Fenfall, a canard, into a stockbroker, drowned beneath me an invisible toll and great foil for pseudo-ironic wharfs pointed in canary, pleading with repository, with a briquet of debating champagne, a disappearance of the oligarchy, to a houseboy-themed Philistine competition. A billion at Lloyd's, stuck in bits fell off or down or since, and hankering stops. I can think of worse oms to beautify under moonlight. The Chartered Institute of Personal and Development believes in nothing and hates everybody. Abolish me, belayed this ladder inside clambers to nuisance to lose but a glossary securely chain-mailed, honeycombed and clapped. A penalty for vespers on a wrecked request. This sanction officer knows no bounds, dear sir, justice. You know me. I ought to know or have known, but as my last sick balance admits, I've tried drill bits inside that wrecked close to skin, taken to band thyself under the whole irrational data, personal, emotional pellet. MD, MSc, MRCS, MFOM. There is no alternative, as waste bins are caged and padlocked. Food dies away from seeing. Oh, bloodworm. Surround people. Hope is better. See also aspiration. Sickled proboscis itch, light scrapped, falls down in abysmal score print, gives the green light. Contained within your contract is section 3.5. Going forward, I dictate the bean counter, the most vulnerable section. I seek deft and reasonable adjustments to my workplace immediately. Incised in halting and extruded 10 ways to extend competition and strengthen consumer clout. Twitching by the lifting bar, a fourth step was added. I did not see and have fallen back inside a claimant's hole. 8 pence wide, 6 pence deep. Pricks my bleak croak forevermore. Oh, dog-holed and unnumbered. Our torturing hour, God hooked, this grim night, Dominic, my glory hole tapered, my dream hole sealed. Turn it to bedevil his government and not mine, did chain nothing to nothing, tight in stifling light, handed down upon the head, and to wait, and to be inside your throat's camera rig, and to speak through you tenderly as you write to the European Research Group, your maiden speech, closing with the divine nature of your indignation of the worst idlers in the world, streaked with blood and open to clanks ungrafted, worms and locust suds. Oh, grim night, I break my teeth upon the ledger, hit a brick wall, grind down into a shape of a V, prostrate and ask, what is a blue at Oxford? A, sickle prick spiking my chest hide unhorned. B, a twitching lesion of gullets raked. Or C, sealed to cough and ring out cry made me look pale on tantra of a man that night broke off on government-minded and increased the affordability of the system now whilst my childhood has unreturned when William of Orange came to the throne, made me sick and blue in heart and mind and sundered energy, water, education and the NHS to a barren protest. Walk inside this gentleman's club and cavort these poppies on my eyes, my ears, my nostrils, palms extended along a broken name, disobeyed, and I was sickled to be blue and done by a mouth through a crannied hole. A whispered sunk my earglow. Speak to my heart, Dominic. Your tender voice broke, oh, to be bequeathed of Dr. Challoner's grammar school. A choke cut myself wide by integer of fiscal stylus, a hole on your door. I remaining 8 pence widened. Oh, and on this halted night to live out through spectral hounds, and to duty tender, and to take your places shiver, and to scorn did fall upon me covered below, for lust of your strength so brazen under frosted light, and menace of your contempt for life, and to break all rhyme for cost. Egad, life, for all life is measure, a cut to be snapped and made into a signet of your unalloyed brilliance, and bedazzle of your histories carved out eyes inside. Imagine tears that you detest and seek to kill or mime or throw upon yourself in bladdered call, a body that I ditch every night under gilded light. Void me of all concentric curses, the curvatures of isoquants, and of all the rhyme felled a bloodless ear to sing your life's fever and shrill bitterness will unreign. I seek death and reasonable adjustments to my workplace immediately. O God, on fast, O go and do, and oh God, oh God, in my competencies are billfold bound and burnt off, e.g. human warmth, body clamps tight, ends chamfered at the bit. My sick balance of e.g. human warmth hangs onto numbers, my clanks concentrics. It's law, fuck off, duffer, I'm red in the face, and it's a known 2008 carnation. The burden of employment regulation in the UK has swollen 6 times over the last 30 years. More cruel. I have always worked hard, my tongue on bullcock itch, teeth sworn in brokers of dominion, a mock signal how cloudbursts have been, and what has been an invisible toll, for I do not know other echoes, murderous v-necked, dig anti-fens and nattering, hole-stricken, rouse Margaret Thatcher's graft. No. Margaret Thatcher's gramophone. No. Margaret Thatcher's grace. No. 3 yobs in Margaret Thatcher's grain, sunk a knuckle in 2008, undated. For 36 yobos of e.g. human warmth, burnt, venal, for the most dedicated fathom, imagine who broke the stratagem in 2008. I was 12 years old, dead, scrapped to cheeks, a lull, for teeth inside closed harmlessly thin and armfuls fulfilled and died in warehouses. And do you slowly see through work shy, off to weaponize blossom stiff, lodged in heart weakening, is pivot holes, stick to you again in rigid cues at minus on teeth, and to be willing and slowly see plied from squatting, creeps out your luck, a lifetime under workhouse indices, recount under birthright. I'll read the rest of the bit I was going to read. So this is a poem about Peter Cruddas, Baron Cruddas. Peter Cruddas, Baron Cruddas, having been created Baron Cruddas of Shoreditch in the London borough of Hackney, was introduced and took the oath, supported by Lord Lee of Hurley and Baroness Stewart of Edgbaston, and signed an undertaking to abide by the code of conduct. Give us the clock out of beat, where you used to hide, or tick-tock inside. Having been created Baron Cruddas, a cur pledged faith, under the head are razor blades, from the gate scabs gold brocades, that blood circles as strange as bedfellows, oh scrim, unbroken, city-shaped abscesses curling to black lids, grease, the odour of burning cloth, to us itching circles, concrete tinted awnings, bending grave-like in the rain, in the street little impish men in grey, melted. Breaks my eyes were at all times screwdrivers and cuts, etc. A car to itching circles, same as bedfellows, careless magnet, have summoned forth your child larynx as CMC, Baron Cruddas. You and your coinages evade in wronging lists, and teeth to be barren today trampled in the rotunda. A fascist coils my skin, Cruddas sins alone, invert to summon forth inside the heart of a dying, young and cramped beat, crushed where you used to hide the actual slumping of your body, Baron Cruddas, in feeding decimals, just as not to be mangled or burnt on information sheets healed out to us. The future is disorder, sealed in magic lamps, snapped behind songs below high walls rigged with sirens. Oh, dry spirit, rebury a binder of moulds to burst in all pieces afterwards, and go on without saying it is the next day, waving and smiling and moving to fade, and calling all hearts to emulate, to escape surround of blood of my chair. The back of a purge pulls suspension clauses. There are real dangers, Baron Cruddas. a broken clegg bite unstitched. With what hour is it Richter's peeled? To century decimals erupting, oh, tomorrow closed for and filled with desiccated incentives, the whole darkness reigns to take for exclamation the xenophobias, the screens. All individual organisms exist in a continually changing world of experience, a phenomenal field of which they are superintended, and I would like to be, at the other hand, receiving the hardness of facing to bore a hole, as he was named, 8 pence thick, on a swollen grave in consequence. Lord Baron Cruddas decided not to look inside my crawling eyelids had their URLs directed, a silent creak of armaments. Today, of prerogative powers such as those relating to the making of treaties and the defence of the realm, the prerogative of mercy and granting of honours, the dissolution of Parliament, is a flame to see inside the richest man in the city of London and remain, and this eternal emblem of providence, and could be taken for granted, is the body of special privileges and of freedom of arrest and access to the sovereign and a lower tribunal, and a hand dropped goes down to pay double. And your own cash bonds decrees without ballistic gelatine record. The strength and the function of the senses and other faculties change and fail. There is no possible way of making an inference from the existence of one situation to the existence of another. You said quid pro quo and closed the door to ashes. We cannot infer your spawn will bear the title. The Honourables Peter Baron Cruddas. I hunger despot tears in vermin tracery over a colourless writhing, the flu of your throat in clods, in separation with waiting points and prognosis variation, scattergraphs, whilst you are piss-craved on bended knee for Tory clubhouse insignias. I encircle this night of wet rooms, eat ermine-trimmed jackets, laboriums trapped in a Glencore mined metal, eat workloads to hissing canisters, and smiled to ruck and to unspelling of our tragic conserves. This night cries back, cries from heart's disguise, the edge of nothing on fetish cries. Strike down to my soul here, helping people to lift themselves up out of poverty and stay out and go hurling and strip off, get emetic in light sacrifices to no starlings of self refunded wood piles and laughter of burning uplands and suck and stoles secured tonight, stilled on the cheeks to whimper through, abide with me. Fast falls the eventide, the darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless, oh abide with me. Swift to its close ebbs out life's little day, earth's joys grow dim, its glories pass away. Change and decay in all around I see. Oh, thou who changest not, abide with me.